I bleed tonight, if I am sad tonight, I don't have a job to find. And if I work tonight, if I'm so tired tonight, I'll fall asleep when I'm home, when I'm home. I was just so far from here, focused on my own way, with never looking back to those who lived in fear. There was nothing I could do, there was nothing you said that could make me realize how much lucky I was. Just out of reach of the fire, was not aware of the nightmare, but when I stopped to see those eyes begging for help, begging for hope, just need to open my eyes now to try to change them to sunshine, to be someone among others. I've got to try. The ear, focused on my own way, with never looking back to those who lived in fear. There was nothing I could do, there was nothing you said that could make me realize how much lucky I was. Just out of reach of the fire, was not aware of the nightmare. But when I stopped to see those eyes begging for help, begging for hope, just need to open my eyes now to try to change into sunshine, to be someone among others. I've got to try. If I bleed tonight, if I from here, focused on my own way, with never looking back to those who lived in fear. There was nothing I could do, there is nothing you said that could make me realize how much lucky I was. Just out of reach of the fire, was not aware of the nightmare. But when I stopped to see through sight, begging for help, begging for hope, just need to open my eyes now to try to change them to sunshine, to be someone among others. I've got to try. If I bleed tonight, if I am sad tonight, I'm far from here, focused on my own way, with never looking back to those who lived in fear. There was nothing I could do, there was nothing you said that could make me realize how much lucky I was. Just out of reach of this fire, was not aware of this nightmare. But when I start to see through sight, begging for help, begging for hope, just need to open my eyes now to try to change them to sunshine, to be someone among others. I've got to try. If I bleed tonight, if I am sad tonight, I
All right, race fans, welcome live out here in the desert here, Phoenix International Speedway here live tonight. RacinFreeks Sim Racing League, sponsored by Stock Car Racing Experience. Well, we got some bad, fast boys out here and some monster machines around the desert here in Phoenix right now. They're in the middle of the practice, so about 6 more minutes here to go before qualifying sets in. Grab your refreshments, sit back, man, relax, let you hear the sights and sounds of these cars roar around this track for a little. And I tell you what, it's going to be interesting. We got one more race here, and then next week, the final. We crown a champ next week at Homestead, Miami. The final of the season, but tonight, it could be 3 drivers. Actually, 4 drivers, really, could have a shot here to put themselves into next week. Definitively with a win. So we'll have to see what happens tonight as we're racing live here at Phoenix tonight. Like I said, man, it's right here, Phoenix, man. We got about 4 to go here in the middle of practice, folks. And welcome everybody here, filing in, getting set here to do some awesome racing here with the RacinFreeks Sim Racing League, sponsored by Stock Car Racing Experience. These boys, man, are like to do some bad, fast stuff around this track. It's going to be interesting to see what we got here tonight. Well, it's going to be interesting tonight here with this point situation we got. Zach Hall's obviously locked in here tonight. Cedric Hunter, you pretty much say he's locked in, even though he'd still love to win this thing. And we also want to congratulate him on winning the Xfinity Series title last night for the RacinFreeks Sim Racing League. Bob Skinner, I'm going to say he's pretty much in there because those two guys got enough bonus points ahead. It's the fourth place, the fourth and final spot that's going to be interesting tonight. We got to watch out for because there's only 2 points separating the guy in fourth and the guy in fifth. Now, with that said, there's only a couple points separating between the fact of the sixth place. Randy Fash and Robert Moyer are going to battle it out all night long for that final spot. And folks, we're talking about 2 position difference here. That could mean making it the next week at Homestead, battling for a title, or not. So it's going to be very interesting. Now, don't count out Brandon Mullen. Don't count out Mark Whitley because both of them boys, man, might be able to pull a win off. What's going on out there, Hunter? How are you, man? I tell you what, getting set here to do some racing. Right now in the middle of practice, got about a minute to go before we got qualifying setting in. Just letting y'all listen to the sights and sounds of these cars right fast. So, hit batting down, just talking a little bit about the points. And right now, it looks like Zach Hall's on point. He's not wanting to let up on that stranglehold. Now, Mark Whitley could be the sleeper here. Missed last week, got buried. I mean, there's no way Mark, points-wise, can point his way in. So the only thing he's got to do, he's got to win. And he's looking third right down on the speed chart. You got Nate Trito right there, the hard charger. Ethan Kurtz out there. Looking good. Good to see them. And I got to most notably say, Nate Trito's got the Superman out there spotting for him, Jake Nichols. So he's got a good spotter in his ear. Keep him calm throughout this whole entire race. Awesome to see that, man. It's a good deal. I'd like to see Jake out there on the track, but hey, we'll take him as a spotter. But it's good to see Nate out there too, man. It's good to see Ethan. Good to see all these guys out there running around this place, man. It's going to be interesting. I just got a feeling Zach Hall's on a roll. If he can take this momentum into next week, boy, it's going to be hard to stop that guy. He's got a freight train that just keeps running. Robert out in chat says, here we go, let's do it. Hope we can. Hey, it ought to be a good one here. Qualifying's about to take place. Well, here's the thing. You got 5 minutes, open, set, qualifying. Get as much as you can, whatever you can. That Ethan Kurtz, he said he was working on a special paint job. I like that. Got the OSRNetwork colors out there flying. Man, appreciate it, man, running that. It's awesome, man. These guys do that. I don't ask them, but I do appreciate them running the banner and whatnot. So any of the teams that do that, I really do appreciate it. All right. So we got, Mark Whitley. Now, that's not what Mark Whitley's going to want to see. He needs a win tonight. I mean, he's just got to focus on winning. Edward Burrell, right there in the 17 machine. He look good, Canada Dry. Got old Gerald West out there. Nice, Brian Beach. There you go. Brian Johnson. I call it Byron Johnson. Byron. Old Byron's back. I need to see him back in his Mountain Dew machine. Oh, we got Hello Kitty, Cedric Hunter out there waving at the world. That's going to be a tight battle between Robert and Randy. Those two guys going to be battling all night long. Dustin German. I like old Dustin out there. We'll tell you what, he's got that Haviland throwback scheme. Look like Robert. It looks like Davey Allison back in the day. Robert Yates Racing. Nice paint job, man. Definitely the Fords in full effect here tonight, too. Look at that. Cedric, Dustin, Edward. I think old Ethan's out there running. Gerald West is. So the Ford camp, man. This league started out as a Chevy dominated. The only person out there running Ford was Cedric. Now he brought over the Clan. So He needed a little help. That's what it was. But like I said, I want to appreciate everybody coming out. As always, hey, we're live tonight here on YouTube and iRacing Live, the portal wise. I want to appreciate them. I know it's bad me yawning, but I want to appreciate them letting me be on the portal, let these guys showcase some Mark Whitley in the wall, Bama, and Nate Trito putting it on top right there. Woohoo! Woohoo! With a boom shakalaka. All right, sounds good. Getting set here. We've got about 1:50 left to go. We're going in the green flag racing here tonight at Phoenix. Desert style here, folks. There you go, Phoenix International Speedway. Let this thing set up here. We're in the middle of qualifying. There's some bad boys around here. Right now, Nate Trito calling the hard charger. He's blasting around this track. Mark Whitley sitting in second. Nicholas Caressel. Is that right? I don't think I've seen him. Nicholas? Ain't he one of the SRA guys? I thought he never seen him in a while. Well, Nicholas sitting third, Cedric Hunter fourth. Why did I say that? Never mind. Look at Ethan Kurtz, boy. Wow, I tell you what, it came out of nowhere. Dropped a bombshell. Woo, man. I hear you, Ethan. Good job. Gonna sit outside right now. Nice run. Cedric Hunter, Hello Kitty sitting fifth. Nick Crawford sixth. Jeff Gilmore seventh. Edward Burrell right there, eighth. Dustin German ninth. Brandon sitting in 10th. Wow. Well, I'll tell you what, Ethan Kurtz, out of nowhere, just landed on him. That's what I thought he was. Yeah. I think his last name, I'm gonna probably misspell it. Caressel. I think that's how you say it. I've heard it said before, but I knew the name sounded familiar, so good. We got some Jake Nichols Racing and SRA. Man, I tell you what, can't get away from them guys, can we? But boy, I'm gonna tell you, now we got a dog fight going to go happening out here. It's going to be good. Mayhem Motorsports, PRT, man, Motorsports. What's going on, Daryl? How you doing? What's up, Gerald? Benjamin Borders, how are you? I imagine. I see y'all guys practice out there. Looks like y'all slipping and sliding. What's that? Slipping and sliding all night long. Going to have to just be careful on the throttle and easy through the turns. Yeah, Nicholas Caressel. I thought that's what it was. Well, here we go. Either way, boy, I'll tell you what, Ethan Kurtz put down a good time out there. Well, let's grid these boys up here tonight. Because out on pole, I call him the hard charger, Nate Trito. And right there, look at that. Ethan Kurtz, man, dropping a bombshell out of nowhere, putting it out in second. Mark Whitley, he needs a win tonight to seal the deal to get in that Final Four for next week. He starts third. Nicholas Caressel over here representing for the SRA camp in fourth. Fifth place, Cedric Hunter with a Hello Kitty machine. He's looking to lock himself in, but he's already pretty much in for next week to buy for a championship. Nick Crawford there in sixth. Seventh place man, Jeff Gilmore. Eighth place, Dustin German. Ed Burrell right there in ninth. And Brian Johnson rounds the top 10. So look through the rest of this field, boy. It's going to be a good one as we head out here in the desert of Phoenix. Nice. Was waiting for everybody to grid up here, as we are about set here to go green flag racing. There we go. Ethan Kurtzman got a nice paint job, man. Appreciate him. He said he was working on something scientific and secret. I guess that's what it is what he was working on. Had to get a trip out of some of these guys sometimes. There's the Hello Kitty machine of Cedric Hunter. My youngest one gets a kick out of that. And that number 60 out there, he's got something on his car. He's got a chicken or something on it. I'm gonna get a close up of his car, man, if we can. Let's see if we can get a close up of that car. He's got meat. Oh, meat from, oh man, what is that? The Puppets. The Muppets. Meat from the Muppets. I think that's what that's from. Yeah, meats. Meat. There you go. Pace cars in. We're going green flag racing here. There we go. Out front, Nate Trito gets a good jump here as they head off in the turn. Now, the one thing about Phoenix, you'll see these guys go 2, 3, and 4 wide. Well, hey, what's on Tina out there? How are you? Because they'll be able to use the dog leg. And there they go, spreading it out. Well, they'll go 3 wide there. The problem is you got to get it settled down going back into the turn here. Cedric Hunter just got loose going into the turn. Fell back out front. Nate Trito's there along with Ethan Kurtz behind him. Well, Nick Crawford's battling it out with Mark Whitley right now. So the top 3 guys, they've never won here at Racing Freaks. They're not in the chase, but I'll tell you, that's not going to bode well for Mark right there, who was falling back a little bit. Got himself in a hole. We're going to definitely be checking out the race here between Robert Moyer and Randy Faust, because right now, if the race was to end now, Robert would seal his deal into the Final 4. These guys got to be very careful. Lap 3 here of 150 in the books. Oh, 4's around Nick Crawford. Uh-oh. No caution, but man, he got spun just every bit. Let's go back on the replay and see what happened. That's what happens here. You're so loose, so together. Sometimes, man, you get into each other a little bit. Oh, he got loose, and then Mark Whitley nowhere to go. Just ran up on him. And a little bit of contact in the back. No harm, no foul. One of them deals. Wow. Puts him in the back there. Why don't we wish everybody early Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving's next week. And everybody gonna be eating turkey. I'm eating some ham, because I like ham. We got a battle up front here. 3 cars out front, walking the dog right now. Got Meat Machine. I don't know what Nate's got on his. I think it's something cool. OSRNetwork machine up there. Ethan Kurtz, he's in second. Nate's out front. Nicholas Caressel right there. Then third, Cedric Hunter. 4th. Mark Whitley sitting there in 5th. Brian Johnson looking good right there in 6th. Justin German, another man. Keep your eye on him. Right now, good one. The Hello Kitty waving at everybody as he goes by. How y'all doing? Mark Whitley, well, I just told you, he was doing good in this chase, and he just put himself in a position that he has to win. That's the bad thing. And this track, it's just a tough place to win at. Some people like it, some don't. I'm not really keen on it, but I haven't done bad here in the past when I've run here. But it's a track you've got to be very finessed on. Let's go back here and see what Robert Moyer's up to. As he still got the Blimpy sandwich cam machine out there. And a Blimpy cam. Right now he's about, he is 2 positions ahead. That would put him in front of Randy. Well, that 4th place spot, that's what he needs. He needs 2 positions, folks, because he's 2 points down. He actually needs 3, really. So right now, and he is sitting there. Daryl Ricketts back there, too, in that Panther machine. Randy Faust not having the run he wants. Now look at that nose-to-tail battle. Brandon Mullen, he's in a must-win situation here, too. Bob Skinner's right there. And Nick Crawford on the inside, the rock star himself. Battling this thing out here. Looking good. Like the rock star, man. And Brandon Mullen goes on the inside. Trying to think of, like I say, Phoenix is one of these tracks where you just gotta be patient. Good racing going on back here in the back though. Lap 9 here, 150. Oh yeah, segments. All right, man, let me get you some segments, folks. Because for segment 1, we're looking for lap 35. Then we're looking for lap 70 and lap 150. That's right. Well, folks, like I said, we're coming to a close to an awesome season here at RacinFreeks Sim Racing League, sponsored by Stock Car Racing Experience. And it has been a joy to be up here in this booth through this long season. And we're crowning a champ here next week. It's going to be very interesting to watch. But hey, look, we'll be back here in February. Definitely giving you all the action. These boys will be here. Going to do a little bit different here in the league. I think they are next season. Going to like cut it up just a little bit. But more details will arrive as we get closer to that time. Just want to let you know. Thank Robert. Thank all the admins here. And whoa, Jeff Gilmore almost lost it. About needed him a Caterpillar. All right, held on to that thing though. As slick as it was. What's going on, Thomas? How you doing out there? Right now, good race going on right now. See all these guys up front. We still got the front three. Got Nate Trito out front. Ethan Kurtz right there. Nicholas, he's sitting in the third place spot. Noel Cedric Hunter got that Hello Kitty machine running. All right, up front change for second place. Nicholas takes that point on there from Ethan Kurtz. I'll probably start seeing some tire wear come into play here a little bit. Mark Whitley right there. He's closing the gap in on the Cedric Hunter Hello Kitty machine. O'Brien Johnson back there. And Zach Hall, he's just taking it for a cruise around here tonight. He understands he's got to be good. That's a nice looking paint job. Different for O'Brien out there. Like I said, I'm used to seeing him in the Mountain Dew soda can machine, but he's got a paint can machine out there tonight. So that, I don't know. Definitely don't hope he don't get high while he's out there racing. My youngest one like that. All right, Jeff Gilmore, he's sitting there in 7th. Nick Crawford still hanging on to it, almost lost it. Oh, Gerald goes a little high. Gonna let Brandon Mullen go on the inside. Yeah, he got loose or pushed going into that turn. Almost drove it up in the wall. Oh, got battle here. Robert Moyer looking on the inside. He takes it away from Edward. Problem is, Randy's right there on his back deck lid. That is not what Robert wants to see, because he wants to see that guy about another 2 or 3 positions back. As of right now, he would get that 4th spot. Yeah, go 60 and 13. So you're talking about Nicholas Caressel and Cedric Hunter. There you go. Absolutely. Well, we're watching this battle right here closely, because this is, I'm going to say, unless Mark Whitley or Brandon Mullen win this race, and they pretty much are going to have to win to get in next week for the Final Four. The battle is for these 2 guys right here, Robert Moyer and Randy Fayos right there. And as it sits right now, with a 2-point difference between them, Randy's got that. So if he just keeps Robert right there in his mirror and front side of him, yeah, he's got this one covered. So let's go back up front. Just talking about the 60 machine. He's got the meat car. Meat. Yeah, look like a psyched out chicken, man, he's got on that thing out there. Well, Nicholas Caressel, that man right there from the SRA camp. That's right, Sim Racing Authority. Came over here with authority. And you got Nate Trito out front. He's up there running with the Jake Nichols crowd. And Ethan Kurtz, he's running right down there pretty good too. So these top 3 guys running around out. Well, Nate Trito right now, man, hauling it out. He's got a 1.2 second lead over Nicholas. And Ethan, and he's got a 3.2 over Cedric Hunter. Getting a little spread out. That's okay. These guys are doing a fantastic job and running around here. With as loose as this track is, and as tricky as this place is. Now, I think you're going to start seeing green flag stops. Nick Crawford, he's bouncing back right there along with Brandon Mullen right on his back deck lid. You got Jeff Gilmore. What we're seeing right now is these guys just being very patient. Car on the wall. That's Mark Whitley. Oh, that is not what he wants to see. Caution's out. Let's go back on the replay. I saw him blink. So I don't know if that, yeah, he just blinked. Looked like he just cut a tire or something. Went right into the wall. That's what I'm going to say, man. Tire went down. Right in the wall hard for that man, the number 77. And unfortunately, that right there, wow. Yeah, and he's also blinked out. So, wow. Well, who's y'all's favorites out there? Bring up Cedric here. Talk to him. Let him get into his pit stop right past him. Cedric Hunter, Joe White in the booth. Got a copy?
Yes, it is.
Well, Cedric, I tell you what. I tell you, so we're here at Phoenix, and this track out here looks like it's a little slick right now. How you feeling out there with the car and all?
The car feels alright. Personally, I just don't like this track, so if I can get a top 5 finish, I mean, I'm going to consider it almost as a win, so far, I guess the car feels really good because I'm in 4th position, so.
Yeah, it feels really good right now. I mean, you're pretty much like we said last week. You're pretty much locked in with the bonus points and all you've got. Obviously, you'd love to have a win to just go ahead and solidify that. But, I mean, either way, to just maintain to be consistent out here. I see you brought a man over here for me with hearing. Old Nicholas there from the SRA camp.
Yeah, we brought him over yesterday, and he ran with us at Homestead in the Xfinity cars and did pretty good, and I think he finished with a top 5 finish, so.
Nice. Well, I also want to say something else.
Yeah.
The champ from last night, Cedric Hunter, man, pulling it off the Xfinity Series here at RacinFreeks Sim Racing League.
It feels good. It feels good to win. I missed out last year, and you know, I was happy to get it this year, so that was definitely a plus. And next week, I will do the best that I can to get this one.
Well, you know what? You can make history and make it a back-to-back title swing here, I guess. Has anybody else ever done that?
What's that? A back-to-back? No,
Has anybody done a back-to-back title here?
Not yet, so we're planning on doing it.
There you go, man. See, that definitely, I mean, go in there next week, all for nothing, and definitely pull the thing off. But hey, good luck out there, Cedric.
Thank you.
Hey, man. All right, Cedric Hunter there in the Hello Kitty machine. Definitely looking very good. And I see you out there, Jay Weezy. We're back green flag racing. Well, I got him right in time. Normally I don't go that close, but we're back to green. Cedric's out front. Boy, look at these guys just fanned out all over the place. Actually took that interview a little longer than I normally like to. Up front, Nicholas got Ethan Curtains all over him. And Nicholas, man, got slowed back. We're under caution again. Well, they all were spread out back here in the back. I don't know what happened. We'll find out. Oh. Jeff Gilmore got a little loose. Stacked the field up a lot in the back. Oh, yeah, Ed Burrell and Jeff Gilmore just got together. And whamma. Hate to see that. All right. I don't know what happened to Nicholas. Did he have a bad pit stop or something happened? Oh. Benjamin. Yeah, Benjamin got... Nick missed his pit stop. So that's why he's back in 11. Cedric taking the tire game. He says, look, fellas, there's going to be cautions. I'm getting tires anytime I possibly can. All right, folks, still want to appreciate everybody coming out here tonight, supporting these guys at the RacinFreeks Sim Racing League, sponsored by Stock Car Racing Experience. Hey, let's take a quick commercial break right fast. We'll be right back.
Have you ever wanted to drive a real race car on a famous NASCAR track? The staff at Stock Car Racing Experience will suit you up, teach you what you need to know, and put you behind the wheel of a 160-mile-per-hour stock car on NASCAR's famous Pocono Raceway.
That was great. I enjoyed it. Unbelievable.
It's that unique, one-of-a-kind experience you'll never forget.
It was definitely worth it. The second time I did it, and I'm still shaking.
Call or register online at 877stockcar.com for a heart-pounding, once-in-a-lifetime experience. You won't forget it.
All right, we're back here live again here, Phoenix. About to get set here to go back green flag racing once again. Up front, Nate Trito has been owning this place right now, looking good. Ethan Kurtz in second. Phoenix International Speedway here live tonight. RacinFreeks Sim Racing League, sponsored by Stock Car Racing Experience. Yeah, you can see that on Nicholas Park. He'll get back up there. He's got plenty of time. We got 150. We got about 120 laps here. So here we go. One machine and Nate right there. Ethan Kurtz sitting in second. Brian Johnson third. Got Nick Crawford in fourth. Pace car's in. Takes that hard left turn. Here we go. Nate Trito's not going to waste no time. Got to hang on to it. They go at green. And he's off. Side by side. Ethan Kurtz on the outside. Look at Nick Crawford trying to take the space shuttle machine, doing good. Brian Johnson gets a good jump with him. They go door to door. Heading off into the Dogleg turn one. Got a battle for the lead up front. Ethan takes it low and wide to head off into turn two. He's going to try for the lead. Can't quite hold it going into that turn right there, though. Wow. That's my youngest one beating the door down. There's still door to door. Ooh, you got to be careful coming out of turn four right there as they head across the line. All right, Nate puts it back to the point behind them. Still a battle with Nick Crawford there with Brian Johnson. He got the NASA shuttle machine out there with the rocket chips flying along. And the man blowing the paint chips off of that Brian Johnson machine. He got caught up in a little accident early on, but no, Brandon Mullen is up there. Dustin German right there. He's got his hands full with the rock star Bob Skinner. Ethan Kurtz almost lost it. We'll see what happens right now. Daryl Ricketts right there. He's looking good, but sitting in the ninth place Cedric Hunter, trying to bring it up front. Zach Hall's there. Gerald West right there. Look at Cedric Hunter's going around Daryl. Yep, he takes that spot away from him. Keep watching this battle back here as Robert's got one position ahead of Randy as of right now. Keep that in there. Keep that in the back of our minds here. Big battling going on through here in the backside. Gerald West got his hands full. Zach Hall. Zach Hall was almost drifting that thing around the track. A little slick. A little slicky slick. That's all we got to say about that. There's Nicholas in the meat car. Meat. Meat. I mean, that's just cute. That's meat. Well, he's coming around Dustin German right now. Dustin looked good in that Haviland machine. Right in front of them, though, to Brandon Mullen. Brandon Mullen's on the inside there, peeking to the inside of Brian Johnson. Can't quite get it done. Jack Daniels and paint. There you go. Got a space shuttle, paint, Jack Daniels. I tell you what, that's a combination and a half. Gonna get high, get even higher with paint and drunk. There you go. Woo-hoo. I love it. In front of them, you got the OSRNetwork machine, so you can watch it all happen live on the broadcast. Oh, yeah, we got jokes, folks. Well, up front, Nate's not running away this time as bad as he was before, but he's got a good lead, almost a half second over Ethan. These guys are getting awful loose, though. Cedric Hunter right there on the inside of Bob Skinner, the rock star. Them two's going to take it door to door, neck and neck out of the turn. Oh, Zach Hall almost. Had skin, they almost tried to skin the cat right there a little bit. Had to be careful. Got that spot where, like, oh, Bob goes high and wide. Almost, man, knocked the side of the girls off. Wow. I don't want that to happen. That's going to bring up old Jay Weezy behind him. Yeah, there's a good battle going on. Robert Moyer, he is still only one position ahead. Robert's going to have to do something crazy pit-wise at the end of this race to get way in front of Randy. He's just got nothing to lose at this point. Got to do something wild and beyond. All right. he needs to lead a lap. That's what he needs to do. He needs to stay out, lead a lap, get a bonus point. That's another thing he could do. Whoa, Nicholas, man, came out of the turn and almost stepped that thing sideways. Woo, he about went meat right there. He scared that doggone red chicken on his hood about off of it. That thing, man, stepped up sideways evil-like. So you got a kitty and a chicken. They're running after each other. Cat, chicken. There we go. Cat, chicken. Running around the track. One of them's waving at the world, the other one's scared to death. They try to hang on for dear life. Oh, you gotta love it. Like these paint jobs on these guys got on these cars. Good battle right here, though. Dustin German. Got old Cedric Hunter right there in the mix with Nicholas right there in the mix, too. Zach Hall. Some bad, fast boys there. That's why I always say, there's some bad, fast drivers on a bad, fast cars on a bad, fast track here. We'll do something. Ethan Kurtz is around. Don't know if he got help or not, but he definitely is around. And into wall hard. Caution out. Let's go back on the replay and watch. See what happened here. See if we just got loose. We got a little loose coming out of the turn right there, and then, oh, just slammed the wall. Yep, just got loose coming out of the turn. Couldn't hang on to it. Whamma. Product of this track, folks. Product of this track. Drill spill. Okay, I've seen that car before. Don't know what it means, but let's get a talk in with Nate Trito. They're always gonna be like, where the heck are you pulling me to? Nate Trito, Joe White in the booth, got a copy?
Yeah, 10-4.
I'll let you get to your pit stop. Don't want to mess up your routine here. Got a good, bad, fast car out there tonight. Real quick, how's this track? How's it feeling out there with that car?
Oh, it's definitely really slick. It's a lot of fun to wheel, though. The drill spill Chevy SS has been, perfect for me all night so far, and I was just sped in the pits. So we're gonna have to come from the back now, but I definitely think we can do it. It's been a lot of fun though so far.
Yeah, no doubt. You, Ethan, up there in the front. I see you got old Jake up there spotting for you. Definitely he's in your ear there, helping you out, keeping you calm. Like I say, I wanted to let you get through that pit stop. But hey, either way, man, what's the drill spill? I've seen that before. Is that like a real company or what?
It's an iRacing team. It's got quite a clever name. I'd never thought of it myself, but the drill spill is an iRacing team with a good core group of guys. A lot of younger guys actually up and coming through iRacing, competing in the iRacing Pro Series at the moment. But the drill spill is, really fun to be a part of.
Yeah, I've seen the team. I've seen the name. I've seen some of the cars run and whatnot. So it's awesome, man, to see it. So good looking paint job. Hey, either way, man, I see you're gonna have to come up through the field. Take your time, be patient out there as all these guys are. Have fun, man, and good luck out there, Nate.
Oh, we're going to try to keep it clean and just see what we can do.
All right, man. Well, that's Nate Trito right there. Send him back up our to a spotter so we get set to go back green flag. And you heard it right there first. Sped on, yeah, and it looks like Randy Fayosh did the same thing, staying out, but actually I can find out if he led a lap. Yep, Roberts led 2 laps here tonight. So they're back at matched again. Randy had to lead a lap because he'd gained that -1 points, another back to 2-point difference. All right, it's going to be a chess match between those two all night long. But up front, Nick Crawford, he's going to be the man on point. Brian Johnson's going to be right there in second. Dustin German's going to start third. Nicholas Caressel, he's going to be right there in fourth. And we heard it. Nate Trito, he's going to have to work his way back up here from 11th. sped a little bit, got caught on pit lane, and that's just how it happens sometimes. Oh, Jay Weezy, he's out there running around in 6th. Don't count him out. I hear you. Lights off on the pace car. We get set to go back. Green flag racing tonight, folks. We'll see what that NASA shuttle machine up there can do. Can he blow the paint off the side of the 28 when they take off? Or could he knock the oil right out of the number 28 right behind him? Actually, the number 43, my bad. There you go. Dustin German. Pace car's in. Here we go. We're going green flag racing. Here at Phoenix. Green flag's out. Let me get a good jump. Don't spin the tires. Don't drive angry. Don't drive angry. Brian Johnson, he says not so fast. My driver here agrees with me. Look at that, Brian Johnson taking that high line though. It looks like he's going to take it on point here. Take it away from him. Right along with this man right here, Dustin German. See what he sees out the front windshield. He's watching Nicholas right there go to work. He's got a kitty on the side of him though. Just came in the picture. That's a bad fast cat right there. Don't mess with him. He's waving at the world. He's mean too. He wants to win. He knows he's in the chase for next week to buy for a championship. But the problem is, now Cedric won the title last night in the Xfinity Series here at Racing Freaks. The problem with Cedric is Zach Hall's right there near him, and Bob Skinner. So, folks, if this was the last race, you would have your top 3 guys. Cedric, Bob, and Zach all 1, 2, and 3, and Robert Moyer sitting 9th. And as of right now, he would punch his ticket in being 4. So you would talk about your top 4 guys as of right now, if this was next week, would be 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th, all right there nose to tail amongst one another. Wow. We're going to talk about a interesting race. As we watch Cedric Hunter right here go to work along with Bob Skinner, the rock star. I do like this shot here. It's kind of my version of the helmet cam, so to speak. Gives you a good idea of how they're running out here. Oh, Ethan Kurtz is around. Oh, he's not having a night he wants. It's a tricky track, I'm telling you. He's 1 lap down. Well, I'm gonna say it was Ethan. Oh. Let's watch and see. Either that or he had to move out of the way for somebody. Watch it on the replay right here. Maybe we can't see what happened right fast. Huh? Everybody slowed up. I don't know what that caution was for then. And Brandon's tore up a little bit. Let's go back on him. Oh. I don't know. I don't know what the caution's on. Maybe Gerald West, he'll let me know out there in the chat. Either way, up front good. Bob Skinner says he's going to lead a lap around here. Nate Trito's still right there. He's in 2nd. I guess he figures track position's important. 57. Okay, cool. Appreciate it. Alright, well he said the 57 must have spun, went around, self-spin. No harm, no foul. Hey, again, I want to appreciate everybody coming out here. We're live here tonight. YouTube, iRacing Live. Nice group of guys out here. All right, here we go. Nate Trito up front. And Brandon Mullen. I thought it was Brandon because he was tore up just a little bit. Oh well. We'll catch it on the flip side next time. Nate Trito back up front. Jeff Gilmore right behind him. Brian Johnson right there in third. Nicholas Caressel right there in fourth. Gerald West in fifth. Zach Hall sixth. Robert Boyer up in the seventh. Daryl Ricketts eighth. Randy Fayos in ninth. So Randy's just trying to stay in the tire tracks of that man, Robert. He knows if he lets him go, it could very well be over with. Nick Crawford in the back. Cedric Hunter's back there in the back. We're at lap 59 here. Obviously, we're looking for a lap 70. Brings up the other segment here for some bonus points. Here we go. Lights off on the pace car. Boys up front. The Drill Spill team. Cool name, man. I like that. They got Caterpillar right on the outside of him. Jeff Gilmore spun a little earlier. Bounced back though. Let's see what happens here. Nicholas Caressel. He got the meat machine out there. Brian Johnson. He got paint can running around. Gerald West. He got guns. He'll shoot everybody. Pace car's in. Here we go. Coming out turn 4. Gonna take that hard left turn off on pit road. Fly around this track. There we go. Gotta wait till it's green, green, green. And green. Don't want to spin the tires either. When Nate gets going, Jeff Gilmore does not. Nicholas, boy, is going to push him going down into turn 1. That's the problem. Brian Johnson's going to try to clear him. Almost made contact coming out of the turn. He got a little wiggly there. Oh, Gerald, hang on to it now. I know you got a long track down there. But boy, they are 3 wide in the back here. It's a mess of cars. Hold on to it right there. Mark Whitley's trying to come up through the field. Daryl Ricketts on the outside. I got a rubber man and everything. The pellets flying up off these cars. Well, they're throwing all kinds of dust all over the place here in the desert. Oh, they coming through the turn. Almost 3 wide again. You got to hang on to those things and be very careful. Oh, they almost touched Nicholas and Ethan. They went door to door just a little bit there. Ethan's marred back in traffic. Not something he wants to be right now. And I'll get single file finally. Just got to slowly but surely bring yourself back to the front here. On Mark Whitley. He's trying to look on the inside. Well, as of right now, Robert Boyer in the catbird seat. The rocks flying everywhere. They 3 wide again coming through the dog leg. That's one thing about this track is fantastic to watch is when they come through the dog leg, they fan out. It's like a big fan and they come right back in. It's awesome. Bob Skinner on the outside, Cedric Hunter on the inside. They come out of the turn. Oh, these guys are getting a little racy here at lap 63 of 150 here tonight. RacinFreeks Sim Racing League, sponsored by Stock Car Racing Experience. Right now, good one so far. And look at the pebbles and rocks. Man, the guys been messing up the paint jobs. Throwing rocks everywhere. Robert Moyer. Oh, 77's around. No, 77 hung on to that thing. Wow. But I think Gerald West almost lost it. That was a good driving job by the 77 there. Mark Whitley. Woo. The problem with this track is you get a little loose. The guy behind you, he can't check up that fast. And guess what? Wham, that's over with. And 6th spot right there with the Blimpie car. Talk about Blimpie. Guess what? There you go. Blimpie cam. Everybody likes Blimpie. We'll bring the Blimpie cam. I said just Blimpie. I like Blimpie. I like Blimpie. Y'all like Blimpie? I like Blimpie. Well, we'll call it the Blimpie cam. But everybody likes Blimpie. Oh, everybody likes Blimpie. If y'all don't, well, y'all should love the Blimpie cam anyway. It's a cute name to say. There you go. Girls should like it. There. Bob, give you a hint. Tell Tina, Blimpie. Well, it gives you a good idea of the facility of this track, how spread out these cars are. Oh, Nate Trito up right there up front. Brian Johnson behind him. Nicholas Caressel right there in third. And they got a 1.3 second lead, Nate does. And only about a half second between the top 3. over Zach Hall sitting in fourth, who has already got a win and punched his ticket in to the chase. Brian Johnson would love to get up here, man, and take something out of these guys. Like, he'd love to get up here and just take a win from them. Robert Moyer would love for this thing just to end right now. Get out of here with a good finish. Zach Hall, he can see him. Just got to close that gap in a little bit. Jeff Gilmore, Robert's just got to be very careful. Cedric Hunter's moving up on in him. The Hello Kitty machine. And Crawford's right there. Mark Whitley sitting in ninth. Gerald West sitting in 10th. Brandon Mullen, he's out there trucking along with his Jack Daniels machine. Darrell Ricketts. There's Randy. There's the other one. Randy needs to close that gap in between Robert a little more. Because as of right now, Robert's got the points advantage. Oh man, Bob Skinner's all tore up a little bit. A little beat up on the right side. Tina, what'd you do? Punch his fender out there? Did you kick that thing while it was in pits? Shame on you. Messed this car up. Dustin German, paced just a little bit. He's one lap down back to 15th. Ed Burrell, he's the other man lap down back there. It looks like Ethan Kurtz has expired for the night. Hate to see that. Back up front, Nate Trito running this one. Looking good. What happened to Ethan? Now I can get Ethan up in the booth now. What happened, Ethan? Don't come up in the booth? Your car blow up? You getting a wreck? I thought you getting a wreck earlier, it blew up. He's doing good out there though. Well, I got two cars out, Brian Beach and Ethan as of right now. So. Night's been pretty good. Actually, the track's not been that bad. Quick summary here. Lap 70 of 150, and actually right there, Nate Trito's going to lead that segment. 7 lead changes, only 4 cautions. Not bad, because this place right here, well, they can breed some cautions. I've had races where they've been like 20 cautions here. So Phoenix is definitely one of those tracks that 4 cautions coming out here. They come out here with that. Wow. What do you mean you guess? What? What? I guess. What is I guess? Man, what do you mean I guess?
Mad Iraq, dude.
Ah, man, Phoenix is a tough track, man. Tough.
I was running second too, and 82, I guess, just overcorrected and had nowhere to go.
Yeah, it is what it is. I mean, a couple of guys out here have had some close saves. I was just talking about this track. You know, only 4 cautions here tonight, which is very phenomenal because, man, I've seen this place breed like 20 cautions in races. Very good racers at that, too. So this track's notorious for tearing cars up. It's just a tricky place, man, to get around.
Yeah, I was looking for a good run tonight. We were running second. Had y'all on the hood. Came back for this race because I was really good at this track and was really looking forward to it, and it's just unfortunate. The track was really tough to drive. It was super slick. I know. I heard you were saying that earlier, and I mean, it was ridiculously slick. It was fun to drive though. I was having fun, but circumstances took us out early.
Yeah, I hate to see that. Good looking paint job out there. Definitely doing good. Like I said, this track out here, it's kind of one of those tracks that can fool you. You be out there doing good and running around. It's just so slick. Next thing you know, boom, right around him. We've already seen it. Mark Whitley got in trouble. Brandon Mullins in trouble earlier on. So some of the heavy hitters there, man, have already got in trouble. So it's not just you out there. It's you know, unfortunate circumstances. So, hey, like anything, still a good race here. And the one battle that we're looking at here, Ethan, is one between Robert Moyer and Randy Fayosh. That is the cutoff line between the points. Here's what we're looking at. Obviously, Zach Hall's got a win. He's set for next week at Homestead. Cedric Hunter's got a 14-plus bonus points in second place. You can pretty much 99% say he's set. He still loves to win tonight, but he's set. Bob Skinner sits third with a 13-plus point advantage. So you pretty much say he's set. Here's where it gets very interesting. The 4th place and final spot to try for the title next week. Randy Fayosh has a +1 over Robert Moyer right now, and who Randy sitting in 4th and Roberts in 5th. Roberts right now sitting 8th on the track. Randy Fayos is sitting 12th. If it ended right now, they both have led laps, by the way, so they got the bonus point. If it ended right now, Robert would take it probably about by what, 1 point or so.
Yeah, I was in the team channel with Robert and Zach and Brian Johnson, and they were all he had the mentality of just finish the race. Everything will take care of itself, and that's really what he was working towards. And he got lucky after staying out there. He got a quick caution, got tires on it, but definitely the stay alive mentality for both those drivers.
Oh, absolutely, definitely, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens here. I mean, some very fast cars. Bob Skinner obviously hitting the wall earlier on. He's got damage on his car. We can get up there, but I know Robert's probably going, man, I wish this race was just over with now, and I could just go ahead and get myself into next week. It just seems like right now these guys have settled down a little bit. Even when they were settled down before and running there, it just seems like this place, man, just could just jump out and bite you. I mean, obviously you got the Dogleg, and you know and I know going in that Dogleg, you can choose to take it. Problem with taking it is you got to be very careful. You take that thing, it very upset the car when you come back up on the track.
Yeah, I just had to take that a couple times earlier in the race, and that almost ended my race early, and then turn 4 is what killed me, and caution's out on the raceway.
Yep, and turn 4, you just mentioned it. Coming out of turn 4, Brandon Mullen. That's another very serious turn right there. You got to be very careful with it. Just came out of the turn, overcorrected. Same thing. Bam, right in the wall. Nothing he could do. Actually looked like he's on too much of the Jack Daniels bottle out there, but yeah, just hate to see it on Brandon Mullins. Not the night he wants, but see, that's what I'm saying, Ethan. You got to look. This place is just so tricky that coming out of turn 4, and I remember it by driving in the trucks and all, you got to be very easy on the throttle coming out of there, or it just seems like, man, that thing will just keep wheels spinning and just coming on around.
Yeah, and that's what happened with me out of 4. I got a little loose. I've been getting loose all run, and the wheel spin just got me out of 4. I tried to save it, but I figured it'd be better to put it in the fence than wrecking half the field, but it's definitely very dangerous.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Pit stops, tires are important. How big was tires out there too?
Well, I really wasn't side-by-side racing long enough to know how tires were. I think it was more track position, because if you got on somebody's outside, you were just going to get by them, and that inside just had no drive off, because that outside guy, you push so much out of turn 4. It's like a push loose, and you push so much out of 4, and the guy on the outside can just pin you down and get the drive off and get by you. So I really wasn't out there long enough to know how how valuable tires were, but earlier 2 weeks ago in NIS, or last week in NIS, they weren't that important, but you're definitely going to want them as long as they just ran.
All right, good deal. Good assessment there for us. So it'll be very interesting to see what these guys, man, do throughout this whole entire race. We're at lap 82 here of 150, excuse me, I get it out, 50. Live here at Phoenix International Speedway for the RacinFreeks Sim Racing League, sponsored by Stock Car Racing Experience. And like I always say, if you're in the Pocono, Pennsylvania area, up near the Pocono Raceway, and you want to know what it's really like to drive one of these cars in real life, these monster machines out there, the Cup cars, definitely check those guys out at Stock Car Racing Experience. And like I said, unless they come up with a convertible or knock the front windshield out of one of these things, ain't no way in the world I'm getting in one.
You'll get there eventually.
Yeah, when I'm dead. Come on now. I mean, I guess, a fat guy can dream.
Anybody can dream.
Yeah, there you go. Look, they'll come out with a convertible stock car and make it convertible stock car racing experience.
No, I'm a Tony Stewart fan, so don't take this the wrong way. But I feel like if Tony can do it, you can do it, Joe.
I'm bigger than Tony, dude.
Oh, then.
Yeah, no.
I don't know.
Man, look. See, the thing about... Now I'm going to say I'm probably taller than all the drivers, because actually Joey Logano is pretty tall. He's up there near the 6'3", 6'4" mark. But most of these drivers, you know, it's surprising to see them. You think on TV they look really tall and big, but you know, you see them, most of these drivers right at the 6 foot mark. You know, they're not very, very tall guys. Obviously not very, very, you know, huge either. I mean, you got to be, like we've always said, athlete here because it is a sport.
Yeah, and it's a very physically demanding sport. Not a lot of people realize that. I mean, it gets up to 130, 140 degrees in the car sometimes, and that's hot. And
Yep.
you lose you have to drink a lot of water, stay hydrated, and be physically in shape to be able to lose that much weight and sweat and still be able to drive 500 miles.
That's right, supersonic heat in there. Right now, Nate Trito's looking good up front. And you're familiar with Nate, that way I call him the hard charger. Looking good in that drill spill machine. Right beside him, Brian Johnson. You used to call him Byron Johnson for some reason, I don't know why, but anyways, Brian Johnson up there. And Nicholas Caressel over from the SRA camp. That's right, we got a Sim Racing Authority guy out here, Ethan. Who knew?
Yeah, well, I'm starting to be considering myself one of those guys. I've been hanging out with them a lot recently, and they've been fun to hang out with. But
Trader.
I'm not
hang out with Jake
traitor.
Nichols, man. Jake Nichols Racing.
No, what about him?
I associate you with Jake Nichols Racing.
You still can.
I do. I associate you with Jake Nichols Racing. Yeah, but I like this, sorry guys. Man, I go over there to Team so we can hang out with them boys, Bobby Cheney and company a lot. Good to see old Nicholas over here. Now, he's got the meat car. I've been saying that's a crazy looking chicken on that thing, man. It's scared. And I've always said right here, Cedric Hunter, boy, he's somewhere he don't want to be right now, 3 wide. But he's got the Hello Kitty. Well, he's got a happy cat, and that dude's got a scared chicken. So there you go. Who knew?
Now, I know there's a good race going on, but you do know that is not a chicken, right?
I don't know. It looks like a chicken. What is it?
That is not a chicken.
What is
It's
it?
one of the Muppets.
I know it's one of the Muppets. I remember
It's
that
not
because
a
I used to watch the
chicken.
show. But what is it?
That's a
Ain't it
Google
that
star.
one that
I'll
used
let
to
you
go?
know. I'll let you know.
Ain't it that one that used to go door to door to door? No, is that the cook or something?
No, that was the yeah, I think that was.
Yeah, it was a cook. Anyway, that's a long time. Man, you bring up my childhood, man. That's way back in the day. I can't remember. Told you I'm old. Good battle going on though between them up front. Cedric Hunter almost. He got his hands full there. Hey, looks like a chicken. It sounds cool, man. Cat's trying to run the chicken down. All right. It's a meat car.
All right, fair enough, but he's not up front. Nate Trito's out front.
That is true. Nate Trito got that drill spill looking good. Cool name for a race team, by the way, Drill Spill Racing there. And he's been out front. Hopefully Nate can pull this off. Now, I call him the hard charger, and everybody's heard it before in the past, and I know you know it, Ethan. It's because, one, we see him do this. Get up front, lead. Man, the man's bad, fast. Caution's out, by the way, to see what happened.
The 44 of Daryl Ricketts and the 54 of Randy Fiash.
Oh, now that's not what Randy wants to see, because we're just talking about that battle. I'll get back on Nate Trito here in a minute, but let's go back on replay here and watch real quick what happened. Yeah, that's not what Randy wants to see. Obviously, Robert's probably up there clapping up a cool breeze in the blimpy cam car. It looks like Randy's running right there behind him. He's watching replay. Oh, yeah, just got in the back of him a little bit. And good job by Dustin German. He watched the Red Sea split in front of him and took off. Not like too much damage between them, though.
Now, according to Wikipedia,
Okay.
it's Beaker, not Meep.
But it says meat on it.
Well, because that's what he says.
Oh, meat?
Yeah, exactly. And
Alright.
according to Wikipedia, his species is a Muppet. So he's
we
not
got that
anything.
part
He's a
covered.
Muppet. He's not based on an animal, I guess. I don't know.
Okay, so then obviously we can go with the chicken and run with it.
I guess.
But he looks like a chicken, don't he? Look at the picture and tell me if that don't look like a chicken at first glance. Come on. Don't work with me up here, man.
Yeah, fair enough.
I know. Well, it's just fun all either way. All right, let's talk about Nate Trito. Coming out of pits right now, he's sitting in fourth. But we've seen him do it. I call him the hard charger for a reason. Everybody's heard the story before a million times. We'll say it again. As the guy gets up there, man, he does very well, runs fast, and ends up, man, hitting the wall or doing something, crazy. And then gets way back in the back. Next thing you know, boom, he's flying through the front again, does it again. Does it about 3 times in a race before he finally either decides he's going to blow the thing up or put it up in the second row. Tonight, the good thing about it is he's got the Superman in his ear, calming him down, spotting for him tonight. That's right, Jake Nichols is up there in his team box with him tonight, helping him out. So then maybe that'll keep him focused and calm, cool here on a very tricky track here at Phoenix International Speedway for the RacinFreeks Sim Racing League, sponsored by Stock Car Racing Experience. But I'm going to tell you, Nicholas Caressel out front, Jeff Gilmore there in second, Nate sitting in third, Brian Johnson in fourth. So what's your take on it there, Ethan?
He's fast. He's always been fast. He always will be fast. Like you said, his temper can get in the way sometimes, and that's been his downfall. That's failed him a couple times. A couple years ago, his temper's really calmed down since he started hanging out with Jake and whatnot. But he could be fast, and he is fast, and he's really hard on himself, and that could be good or bad depending on how you look at it. Well, so yeah, that's a good point. But
yeah. But you do good, man. You do good.
Yeah, thank you. He does better than me, but he's really hard on himself, and if he wrecks once, it throws his whole mentality off, which is why Jake's been such a valuable asset to him, because he'll calm him back down and help him stay up front.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Jake's one of the most calmest racers around here. We're getting set to go back green flag racing here, folks. Been an interesting one here at Phoenix. Been actually a pretty darn good race here for Phoenix International Speedway as pace cars coming out of turn 4. Or coming through the dog leg there. It's going to duck off on pit road, let these guys go back to work. Been interesting enough because, like I said, this place usually it just destroys and eats cars up. But they've actually had some pretty good long green flag runs. When they cross that line, it's going to be lap 93 of 150. Pace cars out of turn 4 here. Going to duck off on pit road. The man up front, Nicholas. He's got that 60, we called it the meat machine out there. He's going to take off as he got to go green, green, green. Caterpillar's right beside him. Jeff Gilmore, green flag. Here we go. As these guys, man, are back racing again to head into turn 1. Got to be careful heading into turn 1. You don't want to get into each other.
You know, it's a very tight racetrack, and Nate Trado going to look to lead 3 wide for the race lead. Nate Trado cuts way down in the dog leg to try to take the lead here, and he'll take it going off into turn 3 with Jeff Gilmore in second.
They still 3 wide coming out of 4. Don't know how well that's going to work. Nicholas in the middle there, meeting the middle of that sandwich. Well, they got that thing settled out. Oh, in the wall, Nicholas is. And well, that could have been more disastrous than what it was. Looked like he just got a push loose right there from the feeling when he was 3 wide. While these guys are turning the wick up here.
And a very good save by Nicholas Curtis. Nate Trado, Jeff Gilmore, and Nick Crawford in top racing will file side by side for 4th is Cedric Hunter and Nicholas Coressel.
Yeah, it is. Boy, Nicholas, man, he almost just clobbered the wall. Could have took a lot of great cars out with him. Nate's out front still. Dustin German gets a little loose back there in the back. They're single file, nose to tail up front. Nate Trito, you got Jeff Gilmore there on his back deck lid, along with Nick Crawford trying to make the move on the inside. And behind him, Brian Johnson trying to make that move on the 60 machine. And here comes Zach Hall. Well, Zach Hall's trying to take the momentum into next week, ain't he?
Isn't he already locked in for the final?
He is locked in, but I tell you what, he won last week. He's the only one in this segment that has won back-to-back. You know, he won in Martinsville, and then he won last week. So he's looking to maybe just carry that momentum on into Homestead and bring him home a championship.
And he'd be looking to sweep the round and sweep the last 4 races of the season if he could win tonight, and then Homestead. But sitting right behind teammate Brian Johnson and then Nicholas Coressel. Still plenty of time to get to the front. We still got, 64 laps to go that time. Or no, 54 laps to go that time.
Yep.
Still a long race.
Yeah, it's still long. And you're right. Hey, I 100% agree with you right there. And you see the battle going on with Brian Johnson in the 60 machine. Doesn't look like that damage is hurting the 60 of Nicholas too bad when he tapped the wall. What do you think out here? You think that's going to hurt him? I mean, this track's not a huge place. Draft doesn't really play and when I say it doesn't play a factor, the only reason it wouldn't play too much a factor is because, well, one turn, which is the front stretch, is only like a straightaway, but the next sort of what would be the back stretch is actually the dog leg, so you're really turning that whole entire time going through that turn.
Yeah, I had a little bit of damage halfway, or not about halfway. earlier in the race, and it wasn't hurting too bad. It was slowing me down just a little bit, but you spend so much time in the corner and you just are so slow off the corner, the draft doesn't affect you much, and it's such a small track. The straightaways are so short, that's why it doesn't affect you that much. And same reason for the damage. You spend so much time off the this is actually a really fast short track, so I'm kind of lying when I say this, but you spend so much time off the throttle at a normal short track, that's why their damage doesn't affect you that much. And you spend so much time beating and banging in these cars, it's better when you go to a short track because aerodynamics aren't that much of an issue because you spend so much time in the corners.
Yeah, there you go, and definitely, and you're right. It's almost like you're always turning here to the left, so to speak. The only time you get a break of that is when you're on that small little straight front stretch run there. Most of the time you are turning because the dog leg is there in this one, and obviously coming out of turn 3 and 4. And then turn 4, you really got to be feather-like on the throttle. But oh, look at old Jeff Gilmore hanging on to 3rd place right now. Cedric Hunter moving it up in the 2nd. There's a guy, even though he's punched in, he would love to get some momentum, take a win here tonight, and get up front. Don't think Nate Trito's just going to roll over for him. As we know Nate, well, he wants to win just like anybody.
Yeah, and he wants to win more than most people. I feel like he's always hungry for wins, and he really shows that with how fast he is and just pulling away from the field right now.
Well, Zach Call almost pushed right up into Brian Johnson there, the 28 machine. That's another thing we're thinking about. As loose as this track is, guys, if you go running off down into the turn, you definitely will push up into the guy on the outside. A car out there smoking heavily, going into pits. Who is that? Oh, that's Ed Morrell.
Yeah.
Ooh, Canada Drive machine.
Looked like he got loose out of turn 4 and smacked the inside wall pretty hard and got that engine smoking.
Well, here's the update on Robert. Robert's in 11th. Randy Fayos is 13th, folks. Not going to get it done. That would be a tie, and I don't know who the tiebreaker would go to because, again, Randy's got obviously 1 position ahead plus 1. So he's 2 points basically ahead of Robert as of right now. So that's actually 2 positions. They both have led laps, so they're even on that. Don't know that it would go to the top 5s and all that, and that's where I'm not sure who's got what. I'd say Robert might edge him out, but then again, I don't know. Boy, we got a beat and banging battle going on up front there for 3rd and 4th.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say tiebreaker is the best finish of that round, but I'm not too sure about that. But
Hey,
good racing.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm not. They mentioned it in the chat about that. If it was a tiebreaker or tie, what would happen? I don't know. It's of the round or of the season. I don't know how they're going to calculate that. But either way, it would be very, very interesting to come out as a tie just to see. Boy, Gerald West in the wall. So is Jeff Gilmore. Mark Whitley right there. Now, there's a man. He's got to win to get in. Put himself in a huge hole. There's no way he could point himself into this thing. But he can win and get in there along with Brandon Mullen, who is retired for the night either way. But Mark Whitley, he could win this thing and still get that final spot. So don't count him out. But he's no threat for points-wise because he's minus 33 back. Got himself in a hole by missing that last week's race.
Yeah, that's really going to put him behind here. Looking for that win.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Nick Crawford right there in 7th. Old Jeff Gilmore. That's what we was talking about, the dog leg. You saw Gerald West go down on it, and it upset that car all big. Right behind him, Robert Moyer. Falling back just a little bit. I think Robert's just trying to take it easy. Problem is, Randy's right there behind him, and if there was the end now, Randy would take that spot by 1 point from him and head off into Homestead to buy for a title.
And if the tiebreaker was best finish of the round, it would go to Robert Moyer for, I believe, his 5th place finish at Texas last week.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. If they go off the round, then yeah, probably would. But right now, well, Robert just made it around Gerald West, so that puts a car between them. But before, if they were nose to tail like they were, be no-brainer because it's 2 points difference, and that still would put 1 point ahead for Randy. So Robert, as he sits right now, is tied. So he really needs 3 positions to close the deal here tonight.
Yeah, and you can gain or lose those positions so easily. It's going to be a big deal if you can get those and be able to keep them throughout the rest of this race, which is flying by the way.
Yes, 41 laps to go. Well, and again, I take it back. I got to give a hats off to these guys out here doing a phenomenal job of driving, especially on this track, especially knowing the history of this track. And we know of some other leagues that have just abandoned this track because they just can't get what they say good racing out of it. But we're seeing a phenomenal race here at Phoenix. Let's just get a quick summary here, Ethan. We only had 6 cautions, not bad. I mean, because again, I've seen this place produce into teens and 20s.
Yeah, this racetrack is either a really fun racetrack if you can get racing with good people, or just what a lot of us call eye pacing, which you're under caution the whole time, pacing around the racetrack, and it's very whoever you're racing is really determines that, and got a bunch of good guys racing here.
Yeah, no doubt about it. You got that drill spill machine up front there, trying to put it out there. Hard charger. Nate Trito got the number 1, and he's in the number 1 position. And he started from the number 1 position. So he's 1-1-1 right now. And he's hoping he leads the very last lap. And is the number 1 man here tonight and puts it in victory lane. He keeps up what he's doing here. The pace he's got, he's doing good. He's hitting his marks. Looking very smooth out there right now. And he'd kind of fool me right now and think that, hey, maybe Jake's behind the wheel of that thing, but we know he's in his head.
And it's Jake, even if you're just in the room with Jake, it makes a big difference on how you're doing, how you're racing. And I know that. I've been in there with him a couple times before, and he's calmed me down, but Jake's is just so... I'm sure I sound like a kid right now, but he's just so valuable and so good at racing in general that he's a big help to have just sitting in there when you race.
And to add on to that, Ethan, I know we talk about it, is too, he offers that information. Some guys been in that position that there's no... I mean, we don't have to sit there and say, I mean, we know the boy's fast. We know he's good when he gets behind the wheel. But some guys that are like that, they don't want to help others. He will. He'll go out of his way if you ask him to help, and he'll try to do everything he can to help him out. And obviously, he's out here spotting for Nate tonight, and it's paying dividends for Nate. I know he's helped you out in the past. He's helped out several other, Tyler Sifford and whatnot. John T. Wimbush, he's helped him out. So anybody that goes to him, he more than welcome to help you. Excuse me. Get around the tracks and try to show you the best way. So. And that's what a good sportsman's all about, a champion's all about. And I don't take anything away from anybody else. I think a lot of these other guys would too, but most guys in Jake's position, I'll be honest with you, run across a few, they just will not lift a finger to help. And it's unfortunate, because if we had a lot of more guys to do that, I think we'd see some awesome bad fast racing.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's because I am friends with Jake, but I've been able to befriend a couple other people like Jimmy Mullis and Nick Ottinger. Have been really good friends to me and have helped me when I've had questions, but they are very few and far between to come by, and I don't know if I'm just lucky or if I'm good at picking good friends out.
Well, there you go, man, folks. Well, I'll tell you what. Well, right now, Nate Trito is definitely doing what he needs to do to stay out front. Cedric Hunter's doing what he needs to do to keep himself relevant. Because, hey, if this was with Homestead, guess what? Cedric Hunter would do the impossible. I don't want to say impossible, but he would do something that's never been done at RacinFreeks Sim Racing League, sponsored by Stock Car Racing Experience, and that's win back-to-back titles in the 2 different series in the same season. He won last night in the Xfinity Series, took that title. He's looking to do it next week here in the Cup. So if we was a Homestead, with him sitting in second right now, and with Zach Hall sitting in third, he would take that title. Because here's the thing, Ethan, next week, it's who's ever in front of whoever. It's where you finish at. Points are out the window at that point.
Yeah, I like this strategy, or the format of whoever finishes in front of who wins the championship in the final race. I like that. I like that as long as there's a fair system of getting the 4 best drivers into the Final Four, but I like that final race where it's go for broke, winner take all.
You know, and I don't care what they say, it's going to be very hard to ever find a foolproof, fail-safe system. Now, I do like how the chase was at first. They let all 12 drivers come down to the end and whoever finished in front of who. I would like to see that instead of just 4 guys, because it's just 4 guys. Maybe somehow revamp it to where we have, I don't know, 10 drivers, 8, something. Make it to where it's a little more drivers out there have a chance, because then you might have that sleeping dragon back there, lone wolf, man, so to speak, come out there in the last race and just have enough to pull it off and win a title. Would be a very interesting story to think about. That's just me. That's just how I do it.
Nate Trado coming on pit road. I don't know if he's out of gas or, I mean, I don't know how long it's been, but
quite a bit. I mean, we should be on the green flag stops here soon. And, you know, he's not coming on pit unless Jake, like I say again, been a spotter, tells him to, because we know how he does pit road strategy. Probably could be a strategy here. Come on pit road, get your 4 tires early, get back out there. 29 to go here. If this thing does go green the rest of the way, well, hey, I think they could take it the whole entire time.
I'm confused by this solely because we have 15 gallons in the cars tonight, but it's only been 30 laps here, and I know we can normally do about, I want to say 60 laps under green flag conditions,
tires?
Which is, I saw the tire. I don't think they're that important on the long run. I saw the 57 to Jeff Gilmore coming out of pit road when Nate was entering, but I don't know. I wasn't out there long enough to do a whole fuel run, so I don't really know, but kind of shocking.
Yeah, who knows? Cedric Hunter up front. Zach Hall, man, right there is, he came out of that turn 4, though, almost stepped it sideways. Brian Johnson's behind him. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out, because Nicholas Caressel came down with him also. So, the number 1 and the 60. Tires for Caressel. Okay, that's what I was thinking. Tires had to be an issue. Yeah. Okay.
That's not what I was expecting here. Is make it by the 77 of Mark Whitley, who's running 4th place right now. Cedric Hunter currently your leader.
Yeah, and Cedric, like we're saying, who would love to punch his ticket. Well, he pretty much, like I say, 98, 99% pretty much in there because of 14-point bonus points that he's accumulated over the course of the season and in the chase. But a win definitely says, hey, look, I'm there. Bob Skinner's in the same boat. He's definitely got a lot of points coming into this one. Randy right now and Robert, well, there's one car in between them, Gerald West. Still not enough, because that one car would put a tie, and I'm not going to speculate because I have no clue how they will break that tie, so it'd be something interesting we'd have to wait on. But either way, as of right now, it sits as a tie.
We don't like ties.
No.
What sport ends in ties?
Football has.
What kind of football are you watching? Are you talking about European football?
You've never seen an NFL game end in a tie?
I can't say I've seen it on the record sheets, but I've never seen a game end in a tie.
Yeah, I've seen it like one time, and pretty much all the years I have. But now it only happens in regular seasons. It doesn't happen in playoff games. Until those, I've actually seen a 3 overtime game before, and those go until somebody wins. But in the regular season, they only do 1 overtime, and if none of those guys, man, pull ahead, that's how they come about having a tie.
There was a MLB game earlier this season, went to 17 innings, so they went into the tie.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. I mean, it only happens in regular season. It doesn't happen a lot. I mean, it's very rare, but it has happened a couple times in the past. And we've seen ties in NASCAR. Come on, I mean, we've seen ties in points before, and that's why they have the finish positions and whatnot they look at. So it's not uncommon even in NASCAR with the point system to have a tie.
As true as Nate Trado looking to unlap himself here, Cedric trying to get by Cedric Hunter, he's going to get hit by him into turn 1, and that puts Nate Trado back on the lead lap.
Yeah. Now, we're talking about ties, though. I could be wrong, but didn't NASCAR have a championship come down to a tie, and the winner is the one that won?
All right, that's a good point because that was my 2011 championship.
Yeah.
Tony Stewart, my favorite driver, won that.
I think that's what I was thinking. Yeah, Tony Stewart was the one that it came down as a tie, and I think it was between him and Carl Edwards, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's what I thought it was. See,
Tony managed to win half the chase races, and Carl still tied him.
Yep. And it just came down to the wins there. So I remember it's happened before. Like I say, it doesn't happen, man, all the time or very often, but definitely does happen. You're right, Nate Trito back on the lead lap. So if a caution came out, he'd definitely be set and good. That puts the lucky dog spot to the 60 machine of Nicholas Caressel right there. And Cedric Hunter's just looking to try to take it easy with 19 to go. Doesn't want to mess up here. Doesn't want to do anything. Now here, they're going to have to pit. Do you think anybody's going to take this thing out all the way 19 laps?
If Cedric can, I don't see why he wouldn't. I just don't think Nate has the amount of time to catch him. We're coming to 18. We just got 18 to go. I don't think there's enough time for Nate to catch him.
Well, let's look at the lap times here as they come across the line. Previous time for Cedric was a 28.6, and Nate had a 27.8, so a little bit over a second a lap. 18 to go. Right now he's 26 seconds back. So yeah, by virtue of speed alone, we'll see what happens when they cross the line this time. 28.7. Yeah, it's only a second.
That's also assuming Cedric can take it all the way and doesn't have to pit.
True. Yeah, I mean we don't know. We don't know if Zach Hall can. Here we go. Cedric has made 6 pit stops. This is interesting. Zach's made 5. Brian's made 5. Mark has made 5. Nick has made 6. Dustin's only made 4. Robert's made 5. Daryl's out there made 9 million, but he's made 8. Randy 9. But Nate, just to give you a comparison, has made 5, along with Nicholas 5. So Cedric's made 1 more than them. What I was noticing Cedric doing on the cautions, right before it went back to green, he was going in. And whoa, Nicholas Caressel had to hang on to that thing coming out of turn. He's on good tires, but he wiggled because I think the 13 wiggled in front of him and he didn't want to run up into him.
And lap traffic, even if you're the lap car and the person in front of you is on lead lap, racing people here is just so dangerous sometimes, and because this track is so quick for a short track. It's only a mile long, but you know, sometimes you feel like it's a mile and a half because of how hard you have to drive this thing to keep it straight.
Well, coming out of turn 4, 13 there, Cedric Hunter stepped a little sideways. Nicholas Caressel was getting a run because he's on those newer tires. And you know the closing rate, well, he had to make an evasive move. When he did, he got a little sideways and almost put it in the wall. But he made that pass there, got back on the lead lap. Let's give you an update on the time. It's 23 seconds. So, I mean, Nate's knocking time down. He definitely needs a caution at this point to really, really close the gap in. Or he needs Cedric to just really, really just back out of that thing and save some fuel. It's going to be interesting because when he comes across the line, it's going to be 12 to go. At some point, you got to say I'm all in and just do it.
I think we've hit that point. I think it's too late for anybody to start coming into the pits now. You just don't have enough time to make up anything.
Absolutely. Definitely going to be interesting to see here. I mean, Nate's making up some time and ground, just going to run out of time. Time-wise, like I say, we definitely need a caution to get it done. And Zach Hall's right there in second. Brian Johnson in third. Mark Whitley in fourth. Nick Crawford sitting in fifth. Just don't understand why. Boy, look at that mess right there. Robert Moyer's still trying to hang on. He would love to get one more spot. Problem is he's about 2 seconds off the guy in sixth place. And Randy Fayosh. Now he would actually, here's the thing, Nate could catch Randy before the end of this one. And that's what Robert would love to see if Nate, if you don't get up here, get around him and take that ninth place spot away from Randy, because that would put him in front of them by 1 point.
Yeah, that would be big. I'm sure Robert Moore is Nate Trader's biggest fan right now. Nate's only got 2 seconds to catch up within 9 laps. I think he's got plenty of time.
Yeah. He's actually got 7 seconds.
I must be looking at, oh yeah, I'm looking at the wrong people. My bad.
That's all right. Well, but still, even with that, he's running a second a lap faster. So with that second a lap, that's going to put him with 10 to go. That's going to put him right there at him well with about 2 laps to go at Randy. So Robert just has to concentrate right now. The problem is he's got Gerald West on his back deck lid. So he definitely don't want Gerald to go back around him and pass him. So he's going to try to do everything he can to make that car high and wide. And Randy Fayos right there would love to run these guys down. He's about 2.5 seconds back from these guys. So, I mean, this is where the most where the nerves start to build.
Yeah, I'm sure Randy's getting nervous. Cedric hoping for no caution, I think. I'm sure Robert's hoping for that too at the rate that... Well, that's not true. Robert, I believe...
Uh-oh.
Yeah, he's got...
28 in the wall. I think that's going to bring a caution out. He hit that thing hard.
Yeah,
he is slow on the track. Oh, but he did the right thing. He got off the track. Wow.
Now, I'm sure Robert's hoping for Nate to get by the 54 Randy Fayos, but there's Jerry West is right on the back bumper of Robert Moore, and that's your position, and he's going to have to try to hold off that 86.
Yeah, he is definitely trying to hold him off. Look at Gerald West on the inside. Well, if he passes him, that's not what he needs right there. He doesn't need the 86 to go around him, but he did. Wow. So now it doesn't matter what Nate Trito does to Randy. It still wouldn't matter. They would be in a tie. He needed that position there on Gerald West. Just couldn't hold it off at the time. Wow.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate for the 16, unless he can get back around the 86, but I just don't see that happening.
Now, and we see in the back there where Randy's running, and we see Nate. He just came into the picture, so he is definitely trucking and running down the number 54. I mean, it's just not going to be long before he takes that spot, and what that's going to pretty much do in a tie. Now, folks, we're going off the fact that a tie, but again, we don't know who would win the tie. I don't know. I have no clue. So Robert might, and Gerald West gets loose, so he goes right back around him again. Oh, well, never mind. A tie definitely is, we don't know, but this right here is the perfect scenario for Robert. Stay in front, hope Nate Trito, who is coming in a hurry, gets past that man. Now, here's the other scenario you got to think about. You got to hope even when he gets past Randy that it runs out enough time that he doesn't get past Robert.
Yeah, and that's going to be a big deal. I don't think he might have enough time. He's only 3 seconds back, but with 4 laps to go, 3 miles or 3.5 miles left around this track, it's going to be a long 3 miles and 3 laps for Robert Moyer.
Yeah, it is long 3 miles, because here comes the one machine. He gets a good run up on the back end of the 54. He's going to take that position, and as of right now, as it stands, once that is done, Robert Moyer would be the 4th and final person going to Homestead. Nate Trito. Now, here's like we said, but if Nate Trito passes Robert, I mean, all for naught, puts us back in a tie situation. And again, hey, Robert still could take that 4th spot. We don't know. Randy still could come out of here with that 4th spot on a tie. We don't know. But as of how they're sitting right now, barring no penalties or anything too, folks, but how they're sitting right now, Robert Moyer's your 4th place man. So your guys will be battling for a title as of right now would be Zach Hall, Cedric Hunter, Bob Skinner, Robert Moyer. Very interesting here in the 10th as we come with 2 to go. Just unfortunate pit stop there that Nate took late on. Kind of scratching my head on why, but either way, hey, maybe he thought he needed it. Cedric Hunter's going to stay out this whole entire time, but look at that. Last lap. Don't think that Nate's going to be able to get around Robert. Now, I say that. They're going to come out of the turn here, and he goes on the inside. If he makes that pass on Robert, it's over with. It goes back into a tie.
And he does get by him here unless Robert can pull something off, but it's not going to happen. And they're going to finish in a tie.
Wow, they're going to finish it in a tie. We're going to have to find out the tiebreaker. One turn, and I know Robert's sitting there going, you got to be kidding me. One turn away. I'm in a tie here for the title. It's going to be interesting to see who wins it. But hey, that man Cedric Hunter can't take anything away. Held on to it up front. Definitely punched his ticket to next week. Vying for a championship, the Xfinity Series champ here tonight. Wow, that's very, very interesting here. So I can't wait to see the tiebreaker. That's the one I'm interested to see on who's going to win that on that one between Robert Moyer and Randy. Are they going to go off of finishes in the chase? Or are they going to go off finishes of the season? If they go off the chase, I'm like you. I got a feeling Robert's got that one because he's got some very good finishes here. But we'll just have to see.
Yeah, and great racing by all three of these drivers. I mean, the great racing by the whole field. Cedric Hall finally gets a win after wrecking. I believe he wrecked last week, didn't he?
He did, yes. Got him a little bit of hole there, but all right. Let's bring up third place man here, Brian Johnson.
And Brian Johnson, I'm talking to you like 30 minutes ago, but now I'm up here in the booth. Really fast car tonight. How'd you stay up front the whole race?
I didn't make any mistakes, didn't get loose off of 4, and used the dog leg only when I had to. It's weird, usually I'm better on a green track, and once the rubber starts getting into the track, I start to fall off, but for whatever reason, Phoenix, once the track rubbered up a lot, I started liking it more. I don't know if it was faster, but I felt more comfortable, so it was a pretty good race. The way things finished out this week will make the season finale next week at Homestead very interesting.
Yeah, and there was a tie between Robert Moyer and Randy Flash, I believe, which is going to make things very interesting for sure. But were you surprised when Nate Trado pitted? Like, what was your mindset going through that?
Yeah, actually, I was surprised because it was Nicholas Kressel. I'm sorry, I forgot his last name, but he pitted, and then Nate pitted, and I was like, we're 4 or 5 laps to the good here. I didn't know if they thought maybe some fresh tires would give them a good enough advantage to go around the field twice. But yeah, I was very surprised about that.
Yeah, you finished third here in the number 28 car. Anybody you'd like to thank?
I just got to thank you guys for putting it on the internet. Got to thank all the fans out there that watch Racing Freaks every week. Got to thank all the admins at the league that put together a really good league here. I got to thank my teammates Robert Moyer and Zach Hall. They do a great job working with me, and we do a great job working with each other. And shout out to Chris, my other teammate. He couldn't make it this week. And then a good buddy of mine, Nick Crawford. Got to thank a shout out for him. Say a shout out for him and thank him for everything he does during the week and getting ready for races. Yeah, it's a great community here.
Congratulations, third place again. Good luck next week.
All right, thanks, Ethan.
All right, that's old Brian Johnson right there, man. Definitely pulling off a good run here tonight. Well, let's bring up the second place man, Zach Hall.
Yeah, Zach Hall, Ethan Kurtz. I was talking to you as well 30 minutes ago. Now I'm up here asking you questions after this race. Finished in second. How was the track? How was the car?
Oh man, it was wicked loose. It was a slick track tonight. It was tight and loose, but it was definitely on a ragged edge right there at the end. That one long run we got right there. My right rear was definitely hanging on, going through the dog leg, about turning right.
Yeah, you were able to stay up front most of the race. You qualified in the back. How hard was it difficult to get up to the front and then stay up there?
Yeah, last weekend I had a penalty for going through too many pit boxes, and I had to start from the pit road tonight, and it was difficult because there's multiple times I went back and forth, but at the same time, it was fun. It was really just fun, and mostly I like this track when it gets real hot and slick. You can seem to every mistake you make can make a pass, so it's a really fun track for sure. So it was a fun race though, coming from the back.
Like you said, you finished 3rd place. Anybody you'd like to thank?
Yeah, I want to thank my teammates, Robert Moyer and Brian. They're great teammates. I think Brian got 3rd too, so good job on him. I want to congratulate Cedric on his championship last night in the Xfinity car for us. He did a great job last night, and he did a great job again tonight. They're not making no mistakes when I was trying to run them down. And thank you guys for broadcasting.
Like I said, congrats on the 3rd place. Good luck next week.
Thanks, man.
All right, that's Zach Call, man. We know he's going to be racing for the title next week. Let's go down to victory lane because we know this guy's definitely going to be doing it also here. Cedric Hunter, Joe White, the Boots, got a copy?
Yes, I do.
Well, I talked to you earlier on. Wasn't 100% sure about this track out here, but hey, you pulled it off. You hung on to it there. Nate Trito, I don't know why he pitted like he did, but did that surprise you that he pitted like that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, I'm going to say right off the bat, I want to thank Nick Kressel for pitting. When he stayed out and he didn't have enough fuel to make it to the end, so when he pitted, I think Nate, didn't think a second time. I think he kind of went with okay, well, Kressel's pitting, so we have to pit this run. And so when he pitted, I kind of knew that as long as Zach doesn't get to my back bumper, I pretty much, and I don't make any mistakes, I think I have it wrapped up.
Yeah, no doubt about it. This definitely, man, punches your ticket to next week. To go for a championship here at the RacinFreeks Sim Racing League, sponsored by Stock Car Racing Experience. And you won it here tonight at Phoenix, and it was an awesome race. Definitely a tricky style track out there. And I tell you what, you ready for next week, man, to try to go for another title?
Absolutely. Probably going from, winning, I guess, at Phoenix, which is probably my 2nd worst track behind New Hampshire, going to Homestead, which is probably my best and favorite track. So coming off of a championship yesterday, and hopefully we get the 2nd cup next Saturday.
No doubt about it. With the Xfinity Series champ here at the RacinFreeks, Cedric Hunter pulls the win off here tonight. Phoenix International Speedway. Definitely an awesome run. Came out there you want to thank?
Absolutely. I want to give shout outs to the newcomers tonight. You had Nate, Ethan, and Kressel. They all were super quick and probably deserved better finishes than they got. But unfortunately, I guess the luck and all that stuff weren't on their side. I want to give shout outs to the 4 that moved in, which actually just so happened to be the admins, which that's pretty funny. So I want to thank Bobby, Zach, and Robert, and also give them a shout out, I guess, at the same time for making it to the championship race. I want to thank my teammate Brandon and Bobby. I want to thank you guys and all the people watching. Huge shout out to them for coming in and taking their time out of their night to come watch us race and do our thing. So I appreciate it.
Well, I guess you just answered my next question. Basically was because we knew it was a tie between him and Randy, and we weren't 100% sure. Me and Ethan wasn't up here. We saw that Nate made that pass in the last turn on him to take that spot to make it a tie. So I guess the tie, y'all take it as the chase style?
I am not sure. From Randy told us, or we didn't calculate the points or nothing like that. Just going from what Randy said that Robert had it. So I might be completely wrong. But going from what I thought, or what I think at the very moment, I think Robert made it in. But for all we know, Randy can also be.
Yeah, there were 2 points difference coming in. They both led a lap, so that put them back dead even. But there was only 1 position between the 2 of them, so obviously that's 2 points. So that puts a tie between them. So it all depends on how that tiebreaker is, and so we'll save depending on what they do here, but we'll find out for you folks. But either way, man, we know you're going to next week there, Cedric. Again, congratulations on the win tonight.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right. There you go, Ethan, man. Cedric Hunter, definitely happy camper here tonight at Phoenix. Putting it out there, winning it. Going to go for that championship. Not 100% sure, folks. Going to say kind of, what do we say is unofficial, that Robert has made it into the chase until we know 100% there. But either way, Ethan, got any final words?
It was a good race all in all. I think a lot of most of the Phoenix races are. good race. Not the finish I wanted, but I'm happy for Cedric. I'm friends with him. Happy for Zach and Brian and everybody else in the field that finished well, and excited to go to Homestead next week.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Definitely going to be interesting. We got Homestead next week. Final race of the season here for the RacinFreeks Sim Racing League, sponsored by Stock Car Racing Experience. And folks, it has been a awesome season so far. Very long, grueling pace. The 4 drivers next week will go to try to be the Cup Series champion here at RacinFreeks Sim Racing League, and it's definitely going to be interesting. And we'll just have to see what happens right now. But as always, tune in, man. Tomorrow we got Winstail Cup racing. Until then, everyone, appreciate y'all coming out and watching. Have a good night.